Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Rams House Podcast. I'm your host, Ethan, joined by my co-hosts, OJ, Will, and Joe. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's up, boys?
All right. Well, we're officially in the off-season. Super Bowl is actually going to be this Sunday. So we are in off-season preview mode. We're going to really take an in-depth look at the off-season this year on the podcast. We're going to be talking about, today we're going to be doing a full roster breakdown, identifying our needs, who's leaving, what roster spots we need to fill. Then we're going to be taking an advanced look at all the free agent and trade options, and then we're going to start doing some heavy draft scouting. And we're going to have a mock off season, if you will. We'll obviously keep you up to date with all the things that actually happen in real life as they happen, but we're going to do a mock off season discussing kind of our vision for what we would do at each position of need and how we view the team and kind of what we would do to fill each of those needs and construct a roster. So I'm really excited. We have a lot of fun with this, doing it privately every year, and now we're going to be able to do it on the podcast and share that with you guys. So it's going to be a blast, and you guys will get a deeper insight of kind of how we operate, how we view the team, what we think about as far as free agents and draft prospects are concerned. How we evaluate film and all that jazz. So we appreciate you guys watching and sticking with us as we do weekly episodes during the off season. So boys, let's get started. Discussing the offseason. We are going to get in depth. This video is going to be split into kind of two main parts. It's going to be the breakdown of the offensive roster and the breakdown of the defensive roster as we dissect kind of like who's staying, who's going, and what our actual needs are in each spot so we can figure out how to best allocate our resources to fill those needs up. But obviously, let's discuss the kind of biggest topics before, just kind of lightly as we head into these bigger topics of discussion, and that is we basically found out for a fact now that Cooper Kupp is going to be traded probably within the next day or two. I was actually joking with Joe that he might be traded while we're recording the podcast. First Cooper Kupp sent out a tweet. Yeah. I'm not going to show you the actual tweet Cooper sent out. It's a bit of a lengthier read, but this is the ESPN story basically. Cooper Kupp tweeted out that he's going to get traded and that the Rams have allowed him to seek a trade partner and to basically pick his destination, which doesn't bode well as far as, what our return is going to be. We know that anytime we kind of let them pick where they get to go, the return is going to be poor. And unfortunately, if the Rams are being upfront about that and are going to let Cooper pick wherever he might go, he may end up in an NFC contender because from what we heard from Cooper, he wants a good fit and he wants to play for a championship. So,
yeah, I wanted to chime in on that specific point because this is one of those things where it's like I respect the Rams for how they handle it, but I don't like it. If you think back to the Jalen Ramsey trade, it was the exact same situation where we kind of said, okay, this is a guy who gave us a lot of good moments, played hard for us, won a Super Bowl, so we're going to let him kind of pick where he goes. And the return that we got for him was a third-round pick and Hunter Long for a premier cornerback. So I'm a little bit worried that the return on Kupp is going to be really low because we're just letting him pick where he goes. So I don't love that. I get it. It's Cooper Kupp. He gave us so much, but man, GM's sports, it's supposed to be ruthless, and I don't know, man. I don't think we have to be too nice. Like I kind of wish we didn't see it that way, but I respect the Rams for it, but I don't love it.
I think the return is definitely going to be low. No, I was just kind of reiterating that the return is going to be awful. I wouldn't expect more than a 5th round pick, guys.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the thing. Rams fans are going to be shocked, just like they were shocked about Ramsey. I told everyone, like people were, we're going to get a 1st round pick. I said, there's no chance we're going to get a 1st round pick. People called me dumb, and it wasn't even close. So I think it's going to shock Rams fans how low the return is. I agree with you.
I'm pretty sure Les Snead mentioned that the return is going to be great because of it's mainly due to the contract situation.
Right.
We're going to have to take on majority of the contract because we have to basically make it appealing. So we take on majority of the contract, and from that, we'll probably get like maybe a 5th rounder, maybe 6th rounder. Like we have no chance of winning a 3rd rounder. Like the value isn't there.
Let me put this out there as well because I kind of just saw it pop up. But Rat basically said the Rams have been willing to eat money with an early payment of a roster bonus. They wouldn't be surprised to see him do that again. So that would put Kupp's cap hit on the receiving team at 12.5, it would also basically give us almost no cap savings this year.
Yeah.
Um,
In fact, I would even, if a team is willing to eat his contract and have it so that we don't have to eat any of it, I would even trade him away for like nothing, man. At that point, if we can, it's not even about the draft pick we get back. It's like just finding a team that can take his contract at that point.
Let me see what it looks like if he gets traded.
3-1, 12 million savings. Post 6-1. That's the best option.
Well, that's probably not going to happen, to be honest. Unfortunately, it's just very rare. But the pre 6-1 trade that we're looking at, but we're also looking at what he's talking about is us eating the $7.5 million roster bonus. So we'll cut our savings down to $5 million total. Essentially, is what it looks like.
It's not really much.
That's not much. And to be honest,
really
he didn't really clarify if we were going to have to eat the roster bonus for this year or the roster bonus for both years. So we may end up getting 0 cap savings from this because we saved 12.5, but the roster bonuses for these 2 years are 12.5. So it kind of remains to be seen how that outlook is. If we eat both roster bonuses for both years, we save nothing, it looks like.
Which would make it, man. Like, why would we do that then? You know, if
I mean, it don't make sense.
We also went through this with Jalen Ramsey, where we didn't really save much of anything cap wise with Jalen Ramsey as well. It was minuscule, and I'm fairly certain that we're going to see the same thing that we saw with Ramsey, where a lot of Rams fans were like, "Oh," because remember he got traded post 2022, right? Or was it 2021? It was 2022.
2020.
Yeah, I think it was after 20.
So
after.
Well, there was this thing where we had a bad year. People were saying Ramsey was getting washed and all this stuff, right? And so when he got traded, people were like, "Oh, he's not the same guy, so it won't matter." But then he got to Miami, and he actually was still an All-Pro level talent. Yeah. And I think we're definitely sleeping on Cooper Kupp, and I want to kind of highlight this because I think it's kind of tells the story of something else is going on besides kind of what's on the surface, right? And Cooper did have he had a small injury, kept him out 4 games, but he actually played quite a lot this year. And I want to kind of highlight through the Buffalo game, Cooper was on target for a season of 1,250 yards, 11 touchdowns, 119 receptions. So you guys can see that down here. And that's like a freaking great season still.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he was actually playing at a pretty top tier level still. And then suddenly his targets all vanished. So I'm not in the camp that the Cooper Kupp is washed. What do you guys think?
Well, to me, it's super simple, bro. Like, just looking at a macro sense of this whole thing, I don't think. Of course, y'all know I am with Cooper Kupp. I think he's slightly washed. I think he can still be used, especially if he's in a better offense with a better quarterback. But to me, they're trying to push him out this fast, and they're willing to eat all the cap space. To me, this is signaling that they want a better receiver, and they're probably going to get a better receiver this offseason. It could be anybody. Who knows? They could draft a guy. Who knows? But this is signaling that they want a better receiver next to Puka, and that's why I think they're willing to do this so quickly. Do I agree with it? No, because I would rather have restructured this contract and then, kept him because, he's a guy that he helped Puka a whole lot. He helped him route running. He helped him when it comes to his balance, keeping his feet in.
And,
he helped him a lot.
You want that guy there to help Jordan Whittington next year too, like in his development.
Right.
Yeah. It just really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, guys. I think he's still a productive player. I think restructuring is a much more attractive option. You're talking about a team who was willing to pay Joe Noteboom pretty decent money at left tackle. In fact, what was it like?
It was a lot of
$15 million a year, right? Is what we just paid him.
It was like $15 million,
So we were paying Joe Noteboom $15 million a year to be one of the worst left tackles in football, but we're not willing to pay Cooper Kupp. I mean, you're telling me Cooper Kupp was clearly, if you guys haven't read his tweet yet, he basically said he completely disagrees with the decision to part ways from the Rams.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to leave. You're telling me Cooper Kupp isn't willing to redo that contract at all? Like, I'm not willing to buy that. I don't think that's the case. OJ, you kind of hinted that you think maybe something else is going on here. You want to kind of touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this briefly before the pod, but I'll quickly just say this about Kupp, the way I feel about it. I just think I expected it. I'll say this: I expected it to happen, but it doesn't mean I agree
Yeah.
with the decision. I mean, like I said, I've talked about Cup multiple times this season. I had my we talked about it last week as well, and also after the Eagles game with the issues. I mean, we'll go more in depth with Stafford, but the issues with Stafford and just not throwing Cup the ball. If Cup gets thrown the ball, I'll say this: during those last couple games of the season, we're not having this discussion. I
I
guarantee.
agree.
No,
I
Well,
guarantee we're
Yeah.
not having this
we
discussion.
may still be having this discussion, but it won't be palatable to fans.
No, when I'm saying discussion, I mean trade discussion. Like Cooper Cup is not most likely is not getting traded. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But
But the Rams do what they want to do, man. They traded Jalen Ramsey when
That's
it
what I was
really
about to
didn't make
that
any
is
say.
true.
sense.
That is true.
Yeah.
That
No,
is
no,
true.
I think
But
I think they still want to trade him, but I think it becomes a lot less palatable to the fans who realize, hey, Cooper's still on top of his game. Maybe not 2021 Cooper Cup, but he's still
I
a
mean,
Pro
I
Bowl
would
level
say
player.
they still view him as like a Pro Bowl player. And speaking of like what I think about what's going on behind the scenes, you know, Stafford and Cup, these were two guys who used to every day in practice or in the morning, they would come have breakfast together, watch film together, hang out together. I mean, what they had their own podcast called Nine and Dime. I mean, they were viewed as best friends. I don't know. I feel like something happened between them
Yeah.
recently, and maybe
Hmm.
as well as with McVay, some fallout happened, and it's something that we'll probably not know of unless I doubt either of them
I'll
will
tell
talk
you,
about it.
I'll tell you
But there's
what's
definitely something there.
you know what's
Yeah.
really telling to me is the way that Cooper Cup came out and he could have just said, "Hey, we've agreed to part ways. It's for the best for everyone." I mean, Jalen kind of said that, but he
Yep.
came out and clearly iterated, "I completely disagree with the decision
Yeah.
to."
Yeah.
That's the part that
That's
really gets
telling.
me.
Yeah. That
Right.
I agree. I think that's telling. I think something's going on behind the scenes, and not to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that, but we know Sean has kind of ruined a few other relationships with ex players as well.
Right.
We know
Which is
Marcus
probably why
Peters,
we're
Akeem Talib,
yeah.
Jared Goff. There's a lot of
Gurley.
guys who left and were pretty pissed off about the way things unfolded.
Yeah. And that's probably why we're being too nice with Ramsey and Cup now. And like instead of trying to get the best return, we try to ship them to the place they want to go. But what's interesting is I remember earlier this season everyone wanted to trade Cup, and it was around the bye week,
Yeah.
right before the Vikings game. And then Cup has one good game basically against the Vikings, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, like yeah, like we're not trading this guy. And I think he only had like one or two more good games the whole rest of the year. Um, and like one thing that may have happened to your point, OJ, you said like maybe there's something that happened behind the scenes. I think part of it is probably Puka Nakua's emergence. Like Cooper Cup would never complain publicly, but I feel like that must have to do, that must have to do with it. Stafford not looking his way. And to that same point, like Joe, you were talking about, one reason why we might be doing this is because we want to upgrade at wide receiver too, which you could easily be right. I'm like a little concerned about that because we've talked about this all offseason where it's just like I don't think the issue was really Cup. I think the issue was our offense and Stafford was only locking on to his
Yeah.
main guy, which he's done throughout his whole career. So let's say we throw $20 million at T. Higgins, it could easily just be the same issue.
$20
So
million
it's like
is
I don't even know.
you're
I don't
dreaming
even
of
know.
That's
20.
my main point. That's my issue with it. It's like even if you go out get a guy like T. Higgins or you draft a receiver like a Luther Burden, for example, right? I'm
Mhm.
just giving an example, right? Or like a Emeka Ibuka. What's the difference? Let's say, for example, Stafford's just forcing Puka the
Okay.
ball again, and then Ibuka or like Burden, just example, or T. Higgins, they're just there and they just exist. Even
Yeah.
Whittington,
Yeah.
Whittington, like what
I
changes in that?
I agree. I think from my outlook, from my perspective, it seems like just where we're speaking now, right? It seems from the Rams verbiage that they seem to be committed to Stafford and they seem to be committed to Kyron
Yep.
Williams.
Yep.
And they're getting rid of Cooper Cup. And it feels like this is clearly focusing on the wrong thing. Like Cooper Cup was not the problem with our offense. In fact, we talked about it before, but like every broadcast, they're showing Cooper Cup wide open on routes and he's just not even being looked at.
Yeah.
And again, we saw the offense and what the offense looked like with Jimmy Garoppolo. In fact, it was funny because one of the guys in our Discord was kind of talking about how the offense changed, and I was like, it didn't actually change; it's just being run differently. And the evidence in that is
Right.
the offense looked like Jared Goff offense when Jimmy Garoppolo was playing quarterback with scrubs.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think about it like this, right? I know you guys are saying, what if Stafford doesn't do this, do that? But when you think of it, a front office perspective, I don't think whether Stafford does it or not, I don't think that should stop you from trying to upgrade at a certain position
Sure.
because
No, I
at the end of the
agree.
day,
Oh, that's
at
true.
the, right at the end of the day, it's either if Stafford's not going to confirm what you're going to do, and you either get rid of him or you just put the. To me, I always go of you put the talent on the team and you just work it out later.
I
So
agree.
The issue is
if
that
I'm
the
the
resources are limited. So we're not
Yeah.
yeah, I
gonna
mean money wise, yeah. I'm
Well,
speaking like
just
even if you draft the
overall.
guy, I would do the same thing.
Yeah, but like the
We're not
issue is was
guaranteed
the
to get
receiving
T.
core a
Higgins.
problem before?
no.
Then
No.
why are we
No.
spending so
Right,
much of our
right.
resources to fix it? Because you said T
Right,
Higgins at
right.
20 million, but I'm willing to bet T Higgins gets 30 plus, to be honest.
There's
No,
going to be
it-
If he's
teams
getting 30 plus, I'm not touching.
there's going to be teams that need a receiver one. I'm telling you, there are going to be teams that are going to be throwing him receiver one money.
For sure.
And
No
teams
doubt.
that have more
I wouldn't do that.
money to spend than us, more cap space than us.
Yeah. No, there's
I'm
no doubt in my mind T.
I'm
Higgins
not
will
gonna,
get wide
I wouldn't be
receiver one
shocked
money,
if
yeah.
that happened.
No.
Okay, so
It probably
let's
will
take a
happen.
look. What is let's take a look real quick. What is the money for receiver ones? I mean, you're talking about average salary. It's upwards of 35 now. So you say he's in the second grouping. He's getting 30 million.
I think he's going to get like a Brandon Ayuk type deal.
Yeah,
I can
he
see
is.
it as well. Yeah.
Maybe even
mean,
a little
I'm not
bit
paying
more,
him
to
that.
be honest. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
so
I'm
that's
not
what we're
paying him
talking about. So then you're
Yeah,
talking about,
that's
okay, we may need to trade really valuable draft capital for a guy like Garrett Wilson or maybe Devontae Adams. Some of those guys
Yeah.
that are potentially on the market. It just doesn't make sense. It is
Just draft
one of
one.
the
You just draft a receiver.
well, we're gonna
Yeah.
have draft capital.
Yeah.
We're
I would
saving no
rather
money.
Yeah.
So, but okay,
Well-
we're talking about competing for titles, right? Because we still are keeping Matthew Stafford, all that stuff. Are we
Mhm.
is using a first round pick, for example, on a wide receiver? Is our receiving core definitively going to get better, and we use a first round pick on it?
I mean, yeah.
Without Cup, yeah.
But I don't think we should do
100%.
that.
So you think it's better?
If we draft a first round receiver,
No. If we get rid of Cup and we draft a receiver in the first round, is our receiving
Oh.
core better than it was last year with Cooper Cup, or than it would have been in 2025 with Cooper Cup?
I mean, it
Depends
just
who it is,
depends
in
if
my
that guy
opinion.
hits or not. Like,
Yeah. So you're taking a risk of using your most valuable offseason commodity, the first round pick,
Yeah.
and potentially, I mean, so the best case scenario, the guy hits. You're talking about a slight upgrade. A rookie's not going to put up 1,600
Right.
yards. You're talking about a slight upgrade to Cooper Cup. Best case scenario, and we use our first round pick for that. Our first round pick should amount to a significant upgrade in that positional grouping, right?
yeah,
It's just a puzzling move.
No. All this to say, like I agree with it. All three of you. All this to say is the Cooper Cup trade only makes sense saving significant money from it. If we're not saving significant money from doing it, then yeah, for all the reasons we're saying, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
At this point, what they should do is they should look the return. You're not going to get even a fourth round pick for Cup. A fifth round, sixth round pick is pretty much worthless. Just make sure you get all.
Well,
the
not for
money-
us, because
Well, yeah,
we're
but
great
like,
at picking in those rounds. But
yeah,
I know
like,
I know what
you
you're
know
saying. Though,
what
yeah.
yeah.
You know what's
I mean,
crazy about the situation too is like, I was thinking about the Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford situation, right? Where we traded them for each other and then added some stuff in to make it happen. I don't even think that's a realistic option because you're talking about guys like Garrett Wilson and Cup has his pick of the litter, right? He gets to pick his team. Why would Cup want to go to,
He's not
to
going
the
to
Jets?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's that aspect too. We were like, let's think of like some good teams that they're not going to upgrade the receiving room, and we're not going to want the guys that are below Cup's grade. You know,
Right.
I just
Right.
don't see a way
Well-
where this ultimately plays out positively. I think it's a mistake. I think we're focused on the wrong problems. The fact that we're so heavily into Kyron and Stafford and acting, we're kind of scapegoating Cup. I mean, that's what it feels like to me.
Speaking
Yeah.
of
The Kyron
Kyron,
stuff, I don't know about the Kyron stuff. I don't know
speaking
where
of
they are with
Kyron,
that. to
like
be honest.
I know last week we said that we weren't going to talk about him, but I think we just quickly mention him. There hasn't really been any reports about like what the Rams are going to do with him
Nothing.
besides what they said that they're just going to possibly look at like a
More versatility.
versatility.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
was a
maybe.
hint, though. That could have been a hint.
And then like Lessino was saying that, we'll evaluate a contract extension, whatever that. I mean, that's just like coach speak. That doesn't mean anything. But
Mhm.
my hope is that they've been focused on the Cup and Stafford situation. Then once let's say they trade Cup, the Stafford situation gets settled. If he retires, if he moves on, or if he stays, then they deal with Kyron. But if they don't, then we're gonna have some very interesting conversations. I don't know. It's gonna be
Yeah,
interesting.
it's super early in all. It's super
Yeah,
early in
yeah.
all.
It is still super early, so
We got
there's
some time.
time. That's why I'm
Yeah,
not like tripping out, but that is something to keep
no,
an eye on for sure.
it is.
Yep.
You're right. It is.
All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Take a look at our first topic of conversation, which is our offensive roster evaluation. So what we're going to do is we're going to go positional group by positional group and take a hard look at who's going to definitely be back next year, who's a bit of a question mark, and we're going to be filling in our mock season depth chart, which we've got worked out here. We're going to basically make a full 53-man roster by the end of this mock off season, where we've kind of worked out someone everywhere, right? So let's start at quarterbacks. This is a depth chart that lists out the in green is the restricted free agents. So as of Jimmy Garoppolo, so as far as quarterbacks are concerned, Jimmy Garoppolo is a free agent. Stetson Bennett is a bona fide bum, and then we have Stafford currently under contract. But it also, the Stafford thing kind of seems up and down. I saw a tweet earlier about Stafford's wife, who was basically saying he wants to play again, but whether or not that's going to be in LA still needs to be worked out, which is either one of two things. The Rams are planning to moving on from Stafford, number one option, or number two option is we want more money again.
Yeah. Or the Rams want him to take less money
and he doesn't.
So
those are
I think that's what's
those are the three options. But like,
it's negotiating.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not bringing back Matthew Stafford for the same amount. He didn't earn that contract last year.
I agree.
For how much? For if it's anything close to 50 million, I'm not doing.
Definitely didn't earn it last year. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's 50 million.
Let me look at the exact cap hit. I might actually.
No, sir.
His exact cap hit right here is $50 million, and next year it's 54 almost.
That cannot be the same contract.
Sir.
It has to be lowered. Like they have to restructure that.
So
like,
I'm thinking about 40.
But here's the thing, right? Who here thinks Stafford legitimately takes a pay cut?
No,
I don't think he will.
I don't think he does. I think what's happening is I think Stafford is gonna do the same thing he did last year. Try to force his way and bully his way into getting a contract or increase, basically a salary increase. And I think that's what he's doing here. And I feel like the Rams might fold, unfortunately.
I don't know if it's an increase. I think it's just going to be he wants the same deal that he's already on, and I feel like the Rams may want to restructure or ask him to take less.
From what Kelly said, that he wants an increase.
So, really?
It wasn't exactly.
Well, then,
was it that or
no? She just said that he wants to whether or not he wants to play still, but whether or not he stays in LA is still being worked out, which just means there's a contract dispute one direction or another.
Right.
It's probably
I don't think he doesn't have any guarantees. I don't think he has any guarantees.
No, he has guarantees still.
Okay, because I was listening to somebody. They said he didn't have any guarantees this year.
He still has a signing bonus, right? So that's guaranteed. That's $12 million. That's already paid out.
The base salary.
The restructure is also paid out. Now, if we look at this, his 25 roster bonus, $4 million, is guaranteed on the third. So his roster bonus is not guaranteed yet. It is guaranteed, but it could go to a new team if we traded him, right? So both roster bonuses could be traded out, and I believe both options could be traded out. So we could save some cap space. Let's take a look to see what Spotrac says for real if we actually traded him. Oh yeah, so we have a cap savings of 4.3 million. So we don't save jack if we trade him.
Yeah, so that's
gonna kill our.
There's no point in trading him. Yeah, that's next year. Next year maybe.
Unless we do a post 6-1 trade, which like I said is very rare, but this might be one of the situations. If we can't come to a mutual agreement. So for Stafford, so you guys understand better about why this might be an issue. Stafford has already been paid all of the guaranteed money. The signing, the restructure, the roster, and the option. All that money is already in Stafford's bank account. The only thing that he hasn't got yet is his salary, his base salary. So for 2025, Stafford is only making $23 million, if that makes sense. So the issue is he wants more guaranteed money for this year and for next year, which is kind of understandable. But again, he already got paid all this money. So, if you take that into account and he's like, oh, well, I want more money. Well, then in previous seasons, we paid you like $75-80 million, essentially.
Yeah.
So that didn't work. That doesn't work out for the team either. So I don't know. I think
interesting situation.
it's an interesting situation. A post 6-1 trade.
If we're talking about a post, I don't see that happening because didn't McVay say that they wanted to handle the situation like as soon as possible?
No. You can do a post 6-1 trade today, and it's designated. You designated a post 6-1.
Okay.
The issue, it's like only like 4 or 5 of these, maybe no more than 10 happen per year across the entire NFL. It's very rare.
It's very unlikely to happen, though. Yeah.
But this is the situation in which it happens. It's like it usually happens in situations with guys who are on large contracts and there's a dispute and they can't come to a resolution. This is the kind of situation where it does occur, but I'm saying it's very unlikely still. I'm just saying like it's more possible than like cutting Joe Noteboom or somebody of that caliber. So what do we think? I mean, at this point, I think it's very likely that we keep Matthew Stafford into next season. I mean, would you guys agree?
Well, see,
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. And the only thing that irks me is that like asking for an increase. Of course, y'all know I love Stafford, and I would take him back next year, certain money. But asking for an increase after the type of year you had, that's crazy. That's crazy to me, to be honest. Like, I would understand if like they were saying what I previously thought. If you don't have no guarantees, you're trying to get your guarantees. I get that you're a football player, you need guarantees. But asking for an increase after the year you had, to me, I don't like that at all.
I agree. So let's take a look. Now on the other, so we kind of agreed. Stafford is almost assuredly going to be the starter next year. It's very difficult, and I'm going to pencil in Stetson Bennett as a third string. I don't think we just dump him for no reason. I definitely think we're going to upgrade. Is his name with 2 T's? Yeah. I think we're definitely going to upgrade the second string. I'm also going to do this because I think there's a discussion to be had. I mean, I don't think that the Stafford thing is set in stone.
Sure.
Entirely. So I'll put question marks there because by next episode, Stafford may not be a Ram anymore. Like the Rams want to do stuff and they want to do it quick. So it's something to keep an eye on, I think. Okay, so
it's
we'll kind of.
But it's possible. Yeah, for sure.
This is the way our quarterback situation sits as of right now. Stafford, not entirely set in stone. I don't think they get rid of Stetson Bennett as a third stringer. He's basically free. He's like $1 million, maybe $1.5 million. He's super cheap. So let's move on to our next position, which is actually going to be running back. Now, Ronnie Rivers is a restricted free agent. We have the the Kyren situation. We have Blake Corum and Cody Schrader. Now, let's go take a look at the money on this positional group. Kyren is due $5 million, guys, which, by the way, is not nothing.
Not cheap. That's not cheap for a running back.
I could not agree more. Blake at 1.3 is much more palatable. Let's take a look at Kyren's guarantees and see what happens if we get rid of him.
Oh, wow. Look at the way his contract was structured. He makes it all this year.
Yeah, can actually hold that back.
Yeah, it's odd.
That's interesting. That is a perfect trade candidate, and he sucks.
But look at the release and the trade. Basically, we save all of his contract.
Yeah, we save everything.
Yeah.
By the way, $5 million is not nothing. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer trade.
Absolutely.
I mean, we already all wanted to trade him, but now that I see how the contract is broken down, oh my God, trade the guy.
It's easy either way. Bro.
So
yeah.
Remember, we're doing a mock off season, but we also want to be realistic. I think it's not crazy to imagine a world where he gets traded. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Blake Corum in here, and then I'm going to do the same thing because maybe we do want to upgrade. Maybe we do want to get a primarily lightning type receiver like a Jahmyr Gibbs type, and then Blake Corum, and there'll be a duo combo back. Now I'm going to put on here, the same thing basically in reverse. Blake Corum. I think we let Ronnie Rivers go, and we go with Schrader. I mean, I like Schrader. It seems like they really like Schrader, even though he didn't get any burn. They like the kind of player he is. He basically is Ronnie Rivers, but better, I think.
They kept him on the roster the entire year. So
he still has 2 more years under. Look at this. At $960,000, he's coming back, right? So I'm gonna put Schrader as our last guy.
You can leave Schrader there. I'll go against the grain though. I think they'll keep Rivers. I think they like him. He had some good minutes last year. So I'll go against the grain.
Well, but this is also our prediction for, or really what we want to happen, and we want Rivers gone, right? Like,
I don't want we want to happen.
Yeah, we're trying to be realistic, but it's also our mock season.
Okay. Now I got you, because I was gonna say too. As much as I hate it, I actually, if I had to guess, I actually think Kyron will be back. Even though I really don't want him to, but my guess,
I think majority of us, I think also Joe agrees with that.
I'm being real. Like, I probably think realistically he comes back, but seeing how even if you don't find a trade partner, you can easily release him and get $5 million in savings. That's a contract that's so easy to get rid of, man.
Well, we know that
I don't know. It's close.
So see, that's the thing, right? Is it is a kind of a 50-50 proposition, and because it is within the realm of possibility, like we all agree Stafford's probably not going anywhere. So we're going to keep him because we don't think there's any other options for the Rams. But I think it's feasible to predict that Kyron might be gone.
Yeah, it's close. I think it's feasible. It's maybe 50-50 type thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so then we're making the decisions. Kyron is gone.
Yeah. No doubt.
I think we'll get more clarity after like the Stafford and Kupp situation.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think it would be insane to bring both Stafford and Kyron back, but we'll see. So we're cool with this. Maybe we shift things around after we kind of decide on signing a free agent or drafting someone, but this is kind of where our running back room is right now. Is there any one of us that wants to keep Kyron at $5 million?
Hell no.
Absolutely not. I mean,
no.
Like,
no.
I feel like half.
I wouldn't keep him at $1 million.
I felt like half of the show last week was just about explaining why Kyron is an awful running back.
Yeah,
like,
agreed.
I'm so tired of watching Kyron.
Yeah, like if you guys want to see our explanation, check out last week's video. We did a season recap. If you want to see Kyron explanation, I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, he's just awful in every way possible.
I'm tired of seeing this guy miss the whole time in and time out and fumbling
bad
the ball.
Vision. He's slow. He's not agile.
And I want to see Blake Corum.
He can't make guys miss. Fumbling machine. He can't even catch. He can't like mid at pass pro would. Last year he was actually pretty good at it, but he was pretty mid this year.
Yeah, I agree. Okay,
bro,
so
it's been a minute, bro. It's been a minute since I've seen
time,
the contract.
man. All Rams great teams have running backs, man.
Okay, so wide receivers, gentlemen. Now here's
another interesting group.
Another interesting group. Now this gets whittled down substantially. So let's go ahead and go here. So obviously Puka is going to stay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jordan is now. I'm actually going to put Jordan as a starting slot. I think that's ultimately where he ends up because I think we're going to go for a deep threat.
You think Whittington is more of a slot than a wide receiver too?
No, but I think the whole point of getting rid of Kupp is so we can get a deep threat.
And just stretch the field. Yeah.
Remember, versatility is kind of what we're going. Like T. Higgins, Garrett Wilson, both deep threats. Like some of the guys are being rumored to are all deep threats.
All right.
So no. I think Whittington could play wide receiver too. Like,
I think it's a question. It's like I don't know if he's.
We could put a question mark next to it.
Because I think he's good enough to be the wide receiver too, but it remains.
Yeah, but then we gotta go get a full-time slot.
Yeah.
We don't have one. Yeah.
So, I think it's more likely they're looking for a legit full-time deep threat.
I think it's pretty obvious. Probably. If they're trading Kupp, they're gonna be looking for basically a vertical threat.
I agree. Now, the only other guy on a contract right now is actually Xavier Smith. I don't see him as a slot. I see him as a deep threat, right? He's a speed guy mostly.
I see him as a punt return.
He's a return man.
I don't see him on the field.
The reason I say so is we have to put him here somewhere, right? So I'm just going to put him as third string wide receiver.
Just put him there.
Return punts, man.
He's a returner, so yeah.
I think he would be more of a slot actually, but I don't. I mean,
you know what? You're right. I actually agree with that. We'll put him as a third string slot. Okay. So then we go to offensive line. Oh, by the way, we did. So Cooper Kupp is gone. Wait, is Quintez Cephas still under contract? I didn't see his name up here.
He's still on the roster.
I don't think he ever even was on the active roster. I think he was just.
He probably was on the practice squad.
Yeah. Wait. We didn't mention Tutu's
gone. Who
the
hell is Drake?
Tutu's gone.
Yeah, Tutu's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So yeah, you're right. Look, are we re-signing DeMarcus, Tutu, or Kyler Johnson. I'm not paying any of those guys a dollar.
No. It's time to move on.
Okay, so
get them off. Get them away, man.
I would take DeMarcus for like barely any money, I guess.
No, I'm not.
Like,
I'm not.
no,
I'm not doing this again.
No,
It's time-
You know what?
Not
You
even
know what?
that.
The funny part
It's
about it,
time to move on.
and it's not because he's bad though. Well, y'all think he's bad, but to me, it's not
okay.
because he's bad. It's because that he has a big target share when he's with us for some
Right.
reason.
yeah.
I would rather just get rid of him. So
Yeah.
It's-
We'll take all of that
that's my
Honestly,
reason.
I feel that.
mainly. It's because of the target share. And I just rather him just go.
So
Yeah,
this is actually inaccurate. Nopum is a free agent as well. Let's fill in the things that we know for sure from our perspective. We got Steve Avila as starting left tackle. We have Bo Limmer,
left guard. Yep.
and we have Kevin Dotson. I don't think
Big have.
I don't think Havenstein's going into here. So Rob Havenstein.
yeah.
Okay, so that's our
This is
now.
this is last year too. So
We also have I didn't put tight ends in here. Okay, you know what? Let's do that real quick. Let's hit tight ends up.
Our tight end room is so irrelevant that he forgot.
Oh gosh.
I'm just gonna do
That's how-
one slot for tight ends, and we'll know.
That's how irrelevant our room is.
I'm actually gonna leave this a question mark right now.
this for Higbee.
Yeah, the tight
Or
end room
Higbee.
is a complete question mark. Like we
But
don't even know. If
Higbee,
Higbee's
even
a
then,
starter.
even with Higbee, I would still put a question mark.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, just put a question mark next to it.
Let's invest in that position, man. It's time we get a premier tight end.
Who's our other tight end we have is Davis
Hunter
Allen.
Long and Davis.
No,
Randy
Hunter
Allen.
Long is gone.
Oh, he's gone. He's a free agent.
Yeah, Hunter Long. Where's tight end? Hunter Long is a free agent, so it's these three guys.
Hey, Ethan, since we're here, can we go to Kobe contract? I want to see what it
Colby
is.
was
to
a
trade.
Sure
it was a two-year deal, right?
It was three.
It was a
actually.
three. It was
3 years,
Okay.
22.5 million. So he's making. Oh my gosh.
We
Oh,
should
that's
cut him. We should cut him.
That was such a big mistake, man.
This is just.
You do save $3 million, to be honest. Do
Might
we
as
want?
well. I mean,
do we
yeah,
want to
you
open
might
up
as
another
well.
hole though? Because then we have a hole at tight end.
Wait, do we save? Do we save if we just flat out cut him?
$3 million right here?
We say $3 million.
This right here.
I mean, I would just cut him then. Is that
Okay.
even a question?
No. I'm cool with that. So then Colby's cut. I'm keeping Davis Allen because he's Davis Allen's basically free. He's making 1 million flat. Now, you guys want to see about Higbee? Do we entertain the
we
thought
could.
of? So Higbee's in the
Depends
last.
what it looks like.
Oh man.
What's he making this year?
Actually, he's the same thing.
Same amount.
Oh, they're making the same.
No,
amount.
I just keep him. I ain't gonna lie.
And that
Wait.
Parkinson contract is awful, bro.
How much does Higbee make this season?
9.6
9
million.
million.
And then how much do we save by cutting him?
3.3. Yeah.
That's a tough one, honestly.
Because then we have
say we keep him.
then we have no tight ends.
By the way,
Yeah, we
looking
probably
at
have to
those
keep him. Yeah.
contracts, that is awful contract management by our front office for the
So
tight end group.
I agree.
Yeah.
Davis
$18
Allen,
million
third stringer,
for
correct?
those
Do
two
we want a
guys.
better backup / blocking tight end, maybe? Or is,
I mean,
you know what? I think Davis Allen's probably going to move to the second string.
I would just keep him.
We'll
as
be able to
the-
make We'll make adjustments to this as we go.
Yeah.
But as of right now, this is
Yeah.
kind of where we sit.
I would say Davis Allen's second string question mark.
I would absolutely draft a tight end in this draft. So I feel like Allen will probably be back to third, but
Okay,
And
so
this is a good tight end class.
and we
McClendon.
should absolutely do that. I would even be down to draft one early, man. I want a premier tight end. It's time.
I'm
I
gonna.
think it depends on what we do in free agency.
Yeah, true.
Are we bringing
It'd
back
be interesting.
McClendon to be a backup for $1 million?
I would. I think.
I
I
mean,
think out of all the.
I don't. I'm indifferent, honestly. He's
$1 million. You got to have at least 9 offensive.
yeah. I
linemen.
mean,
You need to
bodies
have
there.
a guy-
Like, realistically, yeah.
Because injuries happen, right? Havenstein, he's had his injury issues. Like, who do you trust, like going out there and just playing at least a game?
So
Yeah, and he got some XP. So
he played.
you know.
He played well when he went out there. So
Some XP.
I'm fine with bringing him back.
Yeah, some experience.
let's
Yeah.
talk about
Better than no.
Jonah Jackson.
Well,
Yeah, this
that's
contract. Yeah.
Let's take a look.
It-
We saved $3 million if we cut him or trade him.
that is.
so we have. Wait. Are you telling me
still-
it's the same savings whether we trade or cut?
Let me see.
Like, because you just said
yeah,
3
it
million
is.
if we cut or trade him.
Yeah.
Couldn't we save a
Yeah.
lot more if we trade him?
That's
No,
11
because so
million
you
dick
see right
up.
here, the reason why is that they converted some of his money to roster bonus, and it says down
Mhm.
here the 2020. Oh wait, 2026. Oh wait, no, that's not guaranteed yet. So this must be incorrect. Oh no, you know what it is? It's the actual signings. because the signing adds up to $11.33 million. Those are already paid out. So yeah, we would have to take on a dead cap of 11.33 million. So we only saved 3.33.
Whether we
go to
cut
next
or
year.
trade. Is
Correct.
that, am I understanding that
Yes,
correctly?
that is correct.
Okay, well then, see ya. I mean, I guess you're just going to cut him now. I mean, if someone wants to trade us something for him, great. But
Hey, Ethan, can you go to the next year, 2026, real quick?
Oh, as far as cutting him,
Yeah, or trade. I want to see because it jumps up to 22 million. It's cap hit. I want to see what he went.
so we saved.
So that's the best
17
time.
million.
That's the best time to get rid of him. 2026.
So do we keep Jonah as a swing guard center backup?
Yeah, that's what I would do. I'll get rid of him. I'll get rid of him next season.
no.
If we're talking about for the health of the cap, our cap situation,
Yeah.
yes. Even though
Yeah,
I would
okay.
love to get rid of him now looking at the way that the cap works with like cutting him, we basically saved nothing this year.
Now, but
So-
hold on, 3.33 isn't nothing, but also we could
Yeah.
get like a fourth rounder for him. He's a starting.
Right.
Now,
Maybe,
now
maybe.
I
the
think we
benefit,
shop him for sure.
the
yeah.
benefit.
I think we should try and shop him and see what if we can get a return. If we can like you said like a fourth round pick,
Well, so
that's fine.
let me position the sales pitch. Let me give you guys a sales pitch for trading to another team. Okay, the signing bonus has already been paid down here, right? So
Yeah.
would you trade a fourth to have Jonah Jackson for $9 million? That's the question this year.
If you were a team that needed a guard, yeah,
Desperately needs a
Okay,
guard.
so that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. There's value there because he's
for sure.
in 2025. If we trade him, the team who receives him will only pay $9 million. Now
Yeah.
he'll be making 22. No, he'll be making 17 in 2026. But you could also cut him for basically free because the roster bonus hasn't really been paid out yet, and the signing has already been paid out. So if you're the team that receives him in a trade, and you could either keep him for 17 million or you could cut him for very minimal losses. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking
He's a good trade candidate for sure.
I think we
don't
should
think about
definitely
it.
shop him. Yeah.
Are you guys willing to keep building up all this dead cap though this year?
Dead cap, it doesn't build up. It's just it doesn't. So like, let me kind of break it down. So if
It
we
sheds off after this year.
yes. So what happened? It doesn't add negative cap to our. It's just that we're not getting anything for that cap. So let me go to the actual page of the overview, right? So as of right now, the Rams have $40 million in cap space. If we cut Jonah Jackson, we just go up to 43 and a half.
Yeah.
You know, I understand. Yeah, I get it. Because dead cap don't even you don't even have to pay it or nothing like that, do you? It's just
You
just
already
the way
paid
it
it. So
yeah.
what it does add to this number here, but it doesn't change our actual cap space. The reason they call it the dead cap is just it's a bad name. All it does is it's cap that we're paying that we don't get to utilize is what it is. So it is a net positive in this situation for trading Jonah Jackson. We get $3 million and potentially a fourth or a fifth round pick, which by the way, if we take a look at our 6th round picks from last year and some of our 4th, 5th round picks from the last 2 or 3 years,
Also,
we're hitting with those picks.
for possible trade ups, those can be valuable in the difference of
Sure.
maybe moving up like into the second or
Absolutely, they can be
stuff like
valuable.
that.
So
because we don't have a second round pick.
for my money, I'm saying let's trade Jonah. I think, to be honest, I just don't think Jonah's that much better than like some of these other guards that we have. I mean, is Jonah like a fourth round
thing?
Go
The
ahead.
main thing is just the contract. We have to
I
admit the
agree.
mistake, and we already got our guy in Limmer, and just move on. Simple as that. Like we
So-
shouldn't overthink.
I honestly, I'm probably keeping Dedich. Dedich looked okay as a backup.
Yeah.
As like a
I would-
deep
Yeah, we're gonna
backup.
have to keep some backups for sure. Like
So in
Dedich
my
is
mind,
fine.
I like to basically have 10 offensive linemen on the roster. That's how I kind of operate from. I'm going to name Dedich the backup left guard. And then as far as the rest of our guys goes, we got AJ Curry. Man, I don't want to return AJ. But here's the
I
issue.
think-
We can't create too many holes. Like that'll be problematic.
I think I think AJ Curry returns. I think Leviston, the guy that we drafted, he's just like they're just depth pieces. That's all.
Which
it
is
Like,
okay. If that's what we're calling it, then that's
Yeah.
cool. Let's do that. Let's keep
that's
them
fine because
both.
O-line, we
So-
saw what happened with our injuries this year, and it's possible it could happen. You never know. So
So
you wanna
then
be
we
safe.
have AJ Curry returning as the backup left. Not like
Yep.
Curry, not as like the definitive back. Like I think McClendon will play over him if the left tackle gets hurt. So now, what do you guys think about the situation with AJ Alaric Jackson? Alaric Jackson's a free agent.
What's his value at? What are they projecting?
Market value.
I mean, to be honest, that crap is awful.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty high.
Oh, I gotta actually go find his name.
Yeah, you have to find him because he's technically a free agent now.
Let me go to 2024 and I'll see him here. Alaric probably pretty low on this.
He's up. You missed him.
Okay. Yeah. Market value. Historically, I've seen these are really not accurate at all. I would be willing.
3 years. I'm doing that. 3 years, 47. I'm doing.
I'm not doing that.
16 million.
I mean, it all just depends.
That's easy.
It depends what the other plan would be if we get rid of him. I mean,
so,
it just all depends. Are we going to get a free agent left tackle? Or are we going to it just, that's what it comes down to.
First of all, I don't want to go by the calculated market value because I don't think it's accurate. I think a better thing for us to do is actually just to go look at the caps and rather look at contracts. Let's look at left tackles and see where we think he fits in based on his recent work. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot.
Yeah. And get an example of like how much a Ronnie Stanley would cost in contrast.
Now, exactly. So let's go to left tackle specifically. And I just don't see him because remember the contracts are constantly refreshing, right? I don't see him getting.
They're always going up.
I don't see him getting below 10th, to be honest, because he's gonna be pegged as an average starter, and some of these contracts, like Colton Miller was signed in 2021 at $18 million. It's 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
The value goes up every single season. I see him as like in that range of Joe Noteboom makes me. Okay, like an Orlando Brown kind of guy, for example.
Joe Noteboom, like 3 years ago, got paid $13 million per.
I have him in this.
Easily see, I can easily see Alaric get $20 million plus.
Yeah, so I have him in this Orlando to Cam area, which is 16 to 18. But then you talk about 2 to 3 years of added value from the fact that they always go up. So I agree. I see him at $20 million. I think he slots in nicely at $20 million.
How much does Ronnie Stanley make? Or how much did he make? Just to give me an idea of what the difference would be.
Good, because if you look at I think a couple tackles signed extensions.
They had him at 7.5, 1 year, $7.5 million.
Oh wow, man! Good job, Baltimore. Great deal.
That was a steal.
No, I mean, look, if we can get Ronnie Stanley for even a couple more mil, then
that's the thing, right? I think Ronnie Stanley slides in somewhere between 20 and 24 million. Yeah. And so like somewhere in this range of like Andrew Thomas to Taylor Decker, 20 to 24 million, somewhere in that range. And you got to remember that age is a factor, right? What's Alaric now? He's 26. He just had his best year of his career in a contract season. Someone is going to look at Alaric and think he could be a franchise starting left tackle.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us think he's that, but we don't think like we're not paying him 25 million a year. I just think the market's going to dictate that direction. One team is going to get Ronnie Stanley. Then the next two guys are Alaric Jackson and Cam Robinson. Now, I'd be willing to pay Cam Robinson $20 million. I think Alaric and Cam make somewhere in the same range.
If you're gonna pay Cam, you might as well pay Alaric.
Cam has a much higher ceiling. Former first round pick, I think top 10 pick. He's
How old is Cam?
Cam is.
He's 26.
He is 29.
Well, he's 29.
Wow, he must have been rookie.
I'm going with Alaric.
But here's the thing, right? We've seen Alaric's best. Cam has played on garbage O-lines with garbage coaching. I think you put him with Wendell, and Cam might be able to really flourish, be that top 10 pick he's never been able to be.
29's not like old.
Not for an offensive lineman.
A 3-year deal for a 29-year-old is okay.
What I'm saying is you're hoping that he hits his ceiling at a later age of his prime.
No, but it's not.
What's the chances of that happening?
Don't look at it that way. Look at it. He's hitting his ceiling with the best coaching of his entire career by a mile. He's never had a coach like Ryan Wendell. He's never had a coach like Sean McVay in his life. He's been playing in Jacksonville and Minnesota, bro.
And playing alongside other good offensive linemen, which is super important for that type of
Jacksonville's O-line has been dog crap for a long time. So you're talking about having him play next to Avila, having him play in a system that works for. I mean, think about it. In fact, I wish we could pull it up right now, but we talked about how Alaric Jackson was one of the most helped left tackles in football as far as getting chips and stuff from tight ends and running backs. I obviously Cam is going to be lower on that list of being helped less, with less help next to him at left guard, with worse coaching, and he's a top 10 pick. He's much more athletic and stuff. I just think Cam has a higher ceiling. So if we're talking about paying them anywhere near the same amount, I don't see why you would go with Alaric over Cam, except for familiarity.
If I'm gonna do it, if I had to do it, I would go Ronnie Staley, just because I know what Ronnie Staley can do, and I'll be willing to pay him maybe $20 million. But if I'm picking between Cam and Alaric, I'm gonna go with Alaric. But my choice is Ronnie Staley though.
Or drafting a left tackle.
Yeah.
But remember, we gotta go in order. Like, we gotta go in order. So
if you're wanting to draft a left tackle, you almost have to take him in like the first round, right? Because we don't have a second rounder either. So now,
but
if
we
it's
could
not
trade
a first
up.
Rounder,
we traded up for Braden Fisk last year. We could do it again.
Yeah.
I'll trade a third and a second to trade up to get whoever. Well, like, there's options now. But here's the first decision: is let's just say Alaric goes for $20 million. Are we re-signing for $20 million?
No, I'm not.
I would say no. I mean, it's a tough call, but
at 16, it's questionable. We're bordering. That 16 is bordering on the most I'm willing to pay him. But I'm
doing 16.
I just don't think it's going to be 16.
It's not going to be 16 because if you look, all right, I'm not saying Alaric is these level of guys, but last year Taylor Decker, 20 mil per. Deion Dawkins.
No, hold on. Alaric was better than Taylor Decker last year.
Yeah, Garrett Bowles, 20 mil.
Someone will pay. You look at a team like New England, like they have no one on their line. You have a ton of cap space. Like someone.
You know what? OJ, you're right, bro. I'm thinking of it right now. Kevin Dotson got paid a lot off of half a season.
Yeah, it's not like because we think like Alaric is trash. It's based off like comparing him to other like tackles, right? Is he worth that much?
No, can we be real? Let's be real about this one thing. We might have the easiest left tackle job in all of football. Our left tackle gets helped a lot. He's playing next to Steve Avila. He's playing for Ryan Wendell, and he's playing in Sean McVay's system. Like, does a left tackle's job get easier than that? Like, realistically? Like, I'm not afraid to draft a left tackle in the second round and start him. I'm not. I think
if it's the right guy, I'm not against it either. I'm not against that.
But the first choice,
center is really tough for a rookie. So yeah.
The first choice that we have to do is basically, do we keep Alaric Jackson? I just think 16 million is pushing it, and I think we all agree he goes for 18 to 20 at minimum.
Yeah.
I'm not at like a hell no, don't keep him.
No, exactly.
I'm at like a, it's a tough call, but still no, don't keep him.
If we could get Alaric at 14 and 15, it's a no brainer.
Yeah.
If he was around that value,
you go question mark.
But because you're talking about $10 million less than Ronnie Stanley, but I'm not paying $4 million less for Alaric than Ronnie Stanley. Like, that's just not going to happen.
And at that point, Ronnie Stanley's an All-Pro tackle.
From the reports that are coming out, the Ravens and Ronnie are looking to split ways. It doesn't sound like the Ravens want to re-sign him. So
yeah.
Also, I would side note, the Vegas Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders are going through like a whole thing, right? Like, they may be looking to rebuild. I will take Colton Miller in a trade because look at this. He's super tradable right now for them, like really tradable. If they like, this is the last year of his contract, and I would trade him. He's only 30. I would trade him and extend him. But you're talking about the cap hit for us this year would be $12 million. I would trade for him, and then so they get to save $12 million. We only have to pay $12 million this, and then I would give him an extension, 3 years, 2-3 years for this is the best option. 2-3 years for maybe 17, 18, $20 million. I would take Colton Miller at left tackle for $20 million a year before Alaric and Cam.
I don't think we've shown it yet, but we have like a spreadsheet for like NBA. No, when I say NBA, I have Luka Doncic on my mind right now.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm a Lakers fan, so I'm excited about that.
Sir.
But speaking of, we have like a spreadsheet for like potential NFL free agents and stuff like that. So I think this is a good time, to pull it up now.
Yeah, we'll fill this out as we go. So we're gonna identify needs first. Then, which we're doing today. Then we'll go over the free agent options, the trade options, the draft prospects, and we'll choose kind of what our favorite is in the mock off season from that. So I'm saying there's options for us besides Alaric Jackson. Colton Miller, I would even take Cam at similar money, or I'm taking Ronnie Stanley for more money, or I'm willing to draft a guy in the second round. We saw a couple left tackles that we liked that we could take in the second round that could be better.
You go question mark then, I guess.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So we go, or do we?
Yeah,
just...
I think it's question mark. Yeah,
That's
So-
one of the
Yeah,
biggest
question
question marks. Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? We need to leave it empty because we don't want it to count over here. So we'll leave it empty, and
Okay.
then, but yeah, I think either we go cheaper with a rookie or we go better or equal with a guy who's cheaper. That I think there's too many options to hard commit to him. So
Yeah.
honestly, I'm thinking trading for Colton Miller is my new favorite option. They're going to change some stuff, and Vegas is about to go through some stuff, guys. They need a quarterback. They need to upgrade a lot of stuff. They have a whole new coaching regime. Do they want to pay big money to Colton Miller while they're trying to rebuild the whole team? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
The only reason why I disagree with that slightly is because if you're bringing a new QB, would you take a risk of not having a left tackle right there?
Yeah. I don't know if they
Not
want him
only
to
that, but Colton Miller's strength is, I think the last 3 or 4 seasons, he's been one of the lowest pressures given up in the NFL. He's specifically a specialist at pass blocking. And when you have the road graders that we do in the middle with Avila and Dotson, like, I'm okay with going at left tackle with a guy who's not the best run blocker, but an elite. Like, he's a top 5 pass blocking left tackle.
we have 3 elite run blockers on our O line.
Correct.
The main job of a left tackle is to pass protect, so it's not a big issue.
So there's options. That's the point, right? So let's go and let's see where we're at here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. We have a question mark at left tackle. Levinston, we keep him. You know what? I'm gonna actually we'll put Dedich at center since he's technically listed there, and we'll put what's his name? KT
Leviston.
Leviston, yeah.
The GOAT.
Okay, so now we really just need a backup right guard and a left tackle. We only need 2. That's not bad, guys.
Mm-hmm.
The O line is almost set. I love that.
Yeah. We've got a great foundation in both offensive and defensive.
So
line.
if we talk about where we're at right now, right? We obviously have some holes, but we have 18 offensive guys here right now. I'm going to put it over here. We have 18 offensive guys so far, and you're talking about a 53-man roster. One of those is guaranteed to be a quarterback, but then you talk about dividing that in 2, or actually you go to 51 because you have the kicker and the punter. So 25 is what we really need to get to offensively. So we have about 7 holes to fill on offense as of right now, which isn't bad. And that's including Cooper Kupp being gone. It's including Kyron being gone. So that's not bad at all. I like where we're sitting on offense so far.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let's go ahead and move on to the next segment of our video. I'm coming all the way here just to make it say defensive roster at the bottom. And then we're going to jump right back into... Actually, no, let's talk overview. Defense. Defense is in a good spot. We have a lot of youngsters. We got a lot of... we really have... Our front 7 is almost entirely set in stone, I think.
Yeah.
Besides
Roseboom, I guess.
Besides one linebacker
Roseboom
position,
is it.
yeah, we're set.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take a look. Let's start with the D line. Let's start with the easy stuff. So edge 1, Jared Verse.
Yep.
Let's go to defensive end 1.
Michael Hoyt. No, I'm just
Braden
kidding.
Fisk. Defensive end 2, Colby Turner. And then inside linebacker, let's put 2 for now. We'll put Omar Speights. We can always move him to 1 if we decide we don't want to invest too much in inside linebacker. What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to put Tyler Davis as nose tackle 1 for now?
Yeah, I would put him there. Yeah.
If we're doing this by what we want, then yeah, sure.
Question mark next to it. That's what I do.
Yeah, for sure. Question mark next to it.
Because maybe in free agency we could.
Yeah, or the draft. There's options.
Or the draft. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna do something interesting. I'm gonna do this because there's a lot of elite edge rushers. There's a lot of elite. Dude, Max Crosby might be traded. Miles Garrett is
come home, baby.
We talked about it last week. We're gonna have to pay Kobe Turner soon, then Verse and Fisk. And unfortunately, as much as we like Byron, he's very much
Odd
replaceable.
man out.
You can find
Yeah.
a ton of Byron Youngs out there, but you can't find
Mhm.
the Jared Verses, the Kobe Turners, and the Braden Fisks of the world often. So yeah.
So
Mhm.
let's look.
Yeah.
Okay, so backup wise, let's see what we have. Do you have something to say, Will?
Well, but you were saying Max Crosby as in trade him for another D end, right?
What do
Like
you mean?
trade, like you just mentioned Max Crosby. So I was
Correct.
saying, are you proposing that the possibility of trading Byron Young and then getting like another edge rusher?
Yes.
Okay.
So allegedly, according to the reports, Max Crosby's like borderline on the market. Miles Garrett just
Yeah.
requested a trade, and there's word that like Khalil Mack is he a free agent or is he's either a free
I
agent or
think
he's on the
Khalil's
trade
a free
market.
agent.
There's
He's
Khalil
a,
free agent.
I
dude,
think he's
there's a
free agent.
slew
Yeah.
of elite edge rushers between free
Yeah.
agent and trade market that are available. It's like
Miles Garrett.
if we because look, here's the reality. Like let's just be real with ourselves. The idea that we're gonna fully upgrade the secondary in one offseason from where it's at now is insane. So we might as well get
Yeah.
an elite pass rush, like elite. If
Yeah.
can you imagine we got
I
Miles
mean,
Garrett on this team?
So that one's tough for me because
Yeah.
to your point about you talk about resource allocation, right? D line and pass rush is one of the things that we actually already do really well. That doesn't mean I wouldn't want a Max
Sure.
Crosby or a Miles Garrett, but when I just think about like the holes we have at other places, I think I don't know if that's the direction I would go, just based off we need left tackle, we need potentially a wide receiver. So I would keep Byron. I think he's a good player for that contract. But
He
like
is.
obviously, if you could talk about Max Crosby or Miles Garrett, I could be convinced. But that's where I'm at with it. It wouldn't be something that I would be like pushing for necessarily.
Yeah, I
See,
would.
the way I've been. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say add on to that and say it has to be a generational player for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crosby or
That's
Garrett.
that's my only thing. If it's generational, you can't turn it up. Like if we can, I'll pay Garrett and
Bro.
Max Crosby, and then I just go the Chiefs route. I just draft cornerbacks, and hopefully I
Yes.
hit on those corners. And I just have my whole D line just be elite. And then the secondary won't have to work that much. I'll put some rookies back there, some cheap vets, and then we'll just go like
But
that.
like we also saw
Yeah.
what happened when we were rushed like in the playoffs. If we played man, kind of press man a lot, we bracketed guys and
Mhm.
we let the pass rush go to work. That works. It's not just the Rams either. That works all over the NFL. Teams with elite
Mhm.
pass rushes don't always have elite secondaries.
Bro, Jared Verse across one of those guys would be unreal. Oh my
I don't
God.
think
Unreal.
I'm
we
kind
have
of
to,
changing my mind already. Like, oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
I don't think we have to invest top dollar in the cornerback position. Like I said,
Which
if you have a
there's
if you have an
also
elite,
there is no elite corners on the free agent market.
and
this
that's
year.
that I was gonna get into that. So we already have an elite front seven, and on top of that, the cornerback market is not good at all. Like on the top of my head, Byron Murphy is a guy. I can't think
He's
of
good.
anyone else. But like,
Yeah.
But he's gonna get paid.
he's gonna get.
And by the
is
way,
Byron Murphy
he's
worth
not him. He's
$30
not
million a year? Because he's gonna get that contract.
He's gonna get number one corner money, but he's not like so elite that he's like
Yeah,
foolproof.
I'm not paying Byron
Yeah.
Murphy $30 million a year. Like absolutely not.
Think
Especially
of-
when we have
think
other
about, like,
roles.
Think about it like this, bro. I know y'all don't like the player, but I like the plan and the investment. So think about Emmanuel Forbes, right? His contract is crazy. He has like 2 more years left, but that's a formula that you could use. Like find a guy like that, and they're super cheap, and try to work with him and try to build him up. So now you can have a cheap secondary, and you can invest your money into other places. That's the type of
Yeah.
thing that I'm starting to like, and I see like Chiefs. I see other teams
Yeah.
do it. They don't really pay it. Like Trip McDuffie, he's really great. He's not making that much money. When it comes time to pay him, I probably think they're not going to pay him.
Mhm.
So that's an interesting way to do it. And I think I would probably go there. That's only if we could get a Miles Garrett or a Max Crosby.
Right,
That's
Yeah.
they're hard to get anyway.
So let's take an overview look to Gallimore is actually a free agent. Bobby Brown's a free agent. Michael Hoyt's a free agent. I might pay Gallimore some cheap money to bring him back, but as of right now, he's and then Murchison. So I'm not definitively signing it. In fact, the only guy I'm considering re-signing on this green list is Gallimore.
Yeah, Michael Hoyt, see ya. Bobby Brown, see ya.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's
Roseboom obviously see it and Reader. So
let's start here. Deshaun Johnson, obviously, we keep him as a rotational piece for $1 million, right?
Yeah.
We put him at what, defensive end? Right? Is he an edge rusher or is he more of a backup end?
He's a backup end.
I think. Yeah. And then Brendan
Johnson,
Jackson.
I thought I saw.
He was inside a lot.
I thought I
Yeah,
saw
so
him
he
inside.
like an end, right? So in our formation we run a 3-4, so
Now,
technically
Brennan is an edge rusher, right? So
yeah.
Brennan Jackson's the edge rusher.
Brendan's
so we
an
would
edge,
put
and
Brennan
Johnson's
Jackson.
the end. Yeah.
Brennan. What was his
Deshaun. With a
Schwan?
J.
Like that?
Dewan?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Deschwan?
Deswan.
Deschwan.
Yeah.
He's like
fine.
he's okay, by the way. He's
Yeah,
he can
these
play
are
a
great
little bit.
rotational pieces.
I
And
mean,
then,
they're just
Yeah.
the depth
do you guys know
pieces.
anything about either of these guys at the bottom?
No.
I don't know that. I
Probably
don't know
were
who they are.
Must be practice
Probably
squad
practice
guys.
squad. Yeah, it has to be practice.
Yeah.
Squad.
So right now we're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys, probably 3 more max, 10 D linemen probably overall. So I'm happy with this for now. Let's go to the linebacker room.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it was he a free agent? Was Hummel?
Both.
Oh, Hummel's. Where's Hummel? I didn't see Hummel on this list. Is he?
He might be on the
Is
the
he
linebacker. Well, not linebackers.
Do they have him as a safety?
So I was just about to say, is he?
Did he was he like a hybrid?
He
I
did
don't
not
know.
play safety. Yeah, also that's kind of weird.
What's his name? Jacob Hummel.
Yeah.
Jake Hummel.
Oh, Jake. Okay, Jake Hummel. They have him as
inside linebacker.
Oh, he's a free agent.
Okay.
Restricted.
Oh,
I'm not bringing him back. I'm not.
I mean, I liked his potential, but yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna.
No.
I'm not gonna re-sign the guy.
He's a special teamer.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what he is.
So
You
we're
can-
letting
you can
him
play.
go. What else do we have in the linebacker group? Nick Hampton, I guess, is getting. Isn't he an edge
Oh yeah,
rusher?
he's an edge. Remember we drafted him 2 years ago
For $1
he
million
was our-
bucks, I guess.
Yeah,
We're
he
talking
was,
about
like,
having
a
him as
backup. Yeah.
okay, and then that's it. Kier Thomas. Is he?
I think he's like an edge, but
yeah,
outside
he's an
linebacker,
edge. He's an edge.
same thing. I guess they listed the same, but
He-
he's
no,
really
he's-
Remember in
more on the D line.
in the Seattle game, he was playing edge. So
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll put him there.
he's
So
definitely
that's
not going to be like
that's 5 guys. That's all the edge rushers we need. 5 edge rushers is it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna
Unless
need we need 2 more D linemen is what we need, and then we need and so inside linebacker wise though we really just have one. Who's Tony
Yeah.
Felix?
oh yeah, we
this-
signed him from
That's the guy from
Cleveland.
Kansas.
Okay,
Oh.
was it Kansas?
No,
Oh,
I'm saying
I-
Kansas.
he
He
probably
went to
was
Kansas.
college.
Yeah, I think he was the Cleveland Brown.
probably.
He probably
Uh,
was on the practice squad.
I
to be
think
honest
him.
He was.
So
Elias
I'm gonna
Neal
leave
was
it.
on
I'm
the
gonna leave it
squad as well.
there. I'm gonna leave it there. I think. I don't think we have one guy right now.
Yeah.
One like bona fide
Basically,
guy.
Yeah, basically nose tackle, and nose tackle would be a position of need, arguably, and then
Inside
replace
linebacker.
Christian Roseboom in the
Mm-hmm.
linebacker room.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So secondary. Let's move on to the secondary room.
That's
No,
an
this is
interesting one.
going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So
Wipe
let-
the slate clean. Wipe the
This
slate
is,
clean.
this is where we
this
need
is gonna be interesting.
more.
Okay. So there's certain guys like we're gonna have to do right. Like so for now, Darius Williams is our
We will.
CB.
Yeah.
Can I see Darius Williams' contract?
Yeah. Kobe Turner or not Kobe.
He's on a. I'm pretty
Durant,
sure he's
right?
on a 3-year deal, right?
Durant. Yeah, at the slot.
He was on 3 deal.
I think it was 3 years. I think it was like 3 years, 30 mil or something.
Yeah, it was.
Let's look
yeah.
at it's
Yeah, something like that.
to Kobe. technically.
I want to see how the money is like structured though.
we could cut him.
Wait, does he make the most this year?
He does. But,
Yeah.
but look. We
Although
could
not
cut
that
him, though.
much, but yeah.
Where's the roster bonus for 2020?
I mean, I
Oh,
think
it's
you
already
just
been
have to
paid.
keep him though, because we're so thin there.
Oh, look, the roster bonus hasn't been paid yet. We could cut him with almost no losses at all.
Yeah, then we'd be really thin at corner though. It's risky.
Oh dang.
I'd keep him. I'd just keep him.
I think you have to keep.
He's
him
pretty
just 'cause,
cheap.
Like,
He's pretty cheap.
yeah,
He's
Yeah,
he's just a I guess a reliable piece, even though he had a down year.
He'll be okay. I have faith in him. The Kobe
we get
Durant
yeah. If we get a good cornerback one opposite him, he could be.
Yeah.
He'll be a good CB2.
Okay, let's put in Cam Kinchins, and let's put in Cam Curl.
Yeah.
Oh no, Curl's with a C, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, then man, okay. So then what else we have? Emmanuel Forbes is going to be. I'm not putting him
The
as a starter.
star is technically Quinn
No.
Lake,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
put him right. Yeah, put him right there.
Emmanuel Forbes. He's going to stay. We actually he's not. He's cheap. $2 million a year is not bad.
The star
What
is
about
Quinn Lake.
Kendrick? Is Kendrick going to stay as a backup?
No,
3
actually.
million,
I don't
yeah.
know. By the way,
He's
$2 million for Forbes isn't for a corner that might not touch the field. Isn't that cheap either?
No, it's not. They expect him to
But-
do something.
By the way, Deion Kendrick, $3 million for
Trey
probably.
Tomlinson, man, what happened to this guy?
Remember he got tore his Achilles.
I
Man,
know,
Cut
but
him.
that guy hurts my
Cut him.
soul.
I'm not bringing him back. I'm also
Release
not
him.
bringing back most of these scrubs down here. I don't care about what McCullough
Release
did.
him.
Joshua sucks. Jalen McCullough's just overrated. Who the hell's AJ Green?
So we're bringing back.
I've
Darion
I've
Kendrick?
literally never heard that name in my
What
life.
are we doing to Darion Kendrick?
well, we got
I
AJ
mean,
Green reincarnated
He's
as
a
corner.
fine backup, like very deep backup corner. I mean,
Is
he's
he
played.
worth
he has
paying?
Oh my
Is he
God.
worth $3
Hold
million
on,
bucks?
hold on,
Oh
hold
no!
on, hold on.
Cut him.
See,
Cut
Who's
him.
it?
Cut him.
Who's it?
Cut him.
Okay.
So
Who was
Darion
that?
Kendrick.
Yeah,
Darion
Kendrick.
Kendrick.
No, Kendrick sucks.
Are we
You
bringing
say
back
three-
Quentin
you
Lake?
say- you
I
say
mean,
3
I
million,
bet
cut
you
him.
the Rams will, but
But like,
I don't.
I hope they don't. I would personally move on. I don't
I
think
think
he's
they
a
bring him
player.
back. I think they bring
They're
him
do
gonna
back.
think
bring
they
him
bring him
back,
back, though.
honestly.
Can we just
I'd rather
bring him
they
back?
don't.
Quentin Lake as a backup safety.
As a
I mean-
backup, he's okay, I guess.
It's a little expensive, but I think it's.
Yeah,
I don't want
I mean,
anyone else back.
The rest
from
of these guys
guys.
can just go. It's.
The rest of them go.
So we have.
I
What do we
guess,
have right now?
I guess Jalen McCullough technically is going to be on the roster as like a safety.
And then we have
CB.
we have John
I
Johnson.
think-
Or wait. What's the deal with John Johnson?
He's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
He was free agent.
Oh.
He's not
You
even
had to
on this
resign him.
list, but he's a free
We
agent.
signed him with that vet man, remember?
Yeah,
No,
okay.
he's right there.
Nah, he's a free
Yeah,
agent.
that's him right
No,
there.
he's a free agent. That
Wait.
website's kind of messed up because they didn't have Jay Coleman
Let's
listed as a
just
free agent.
check.
We should have used him when we had the chance. Dude was just wasting away on our bench, even though he's decent.
John. Yeah, he's a free agent.
It sucks.
He's a free agent.
Yeah, he's a free agent.
Okay, so looking at where we're at now, is there anyone else? Do you guys want to keep McCullough for $965,000?
I mean,
No,
we will. I bet you we will. Like, there's
I
no
bet
way
you
we're
we
gonna
will.
cut him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying that. I
He's
bet
a
you we
rookie.
will,
Yeah,
but I'd rather not.
To me, it doesn't matter that much if
Just
you keep it. Who
backup
cares?
safety.
He's just a
he'll be
backup.
on the
What's
If
his
roster.
he's a
name?
backup,
Yeah.
it's okay. If he's a backup, it's not a big deal.
And then anyone else?
No.
We need
What about trade? You think they keep trades because he's $1 million as like a backup slot?
They might keep Trey as a backup slot, maybe. I don't know.
hey
Well,
I bet.
hey
we do.
Ethan.
Yeah.
Also I think you probably need to move D Will to CB2.
Well, that's why it's question marks there because until we get a better guy, like we'll adjust things as we go.
Yeah,
As of
gonna be
right now, he's
adjusted.
CB1. So what we're saying right now is
backups.
we definitively have a
change.
hole at CB2. Like,
Some of these
That's
backups.
what I'm
could
saying.
change.
I think we have a hole at CB1. I think D Will, if he comes
Yeah.
back, he's CB2.
yeah,
automatic.
but the options
I think
are
we have a hole.
slim.
Yeah, I think we.
That's
we
what I'm
gotta
saying.
draft
I'll
a
even
corner
draft.
early, man.
I draft a guy.
Alright.
Yeah.
I draft a guy. Put him CB1.
Corner is really high on the
Is
priority
this,
list.
is this corner class good? I haven't really looked into it.
Then we don't have a backup
still-
C. I'm just gonna put Forbes there, considering we're paying him like a
Ooh.
backup C.
We still got to.
So we really need at least two, and then a couple extra. So we probably need 4 more guys on defense. Oh, and the star. I mean, I don't want Quentin Lake to play the star again next year. Personally,
No, I don't.
I'm okay with him as a
No.
backup safety, but I'm not playing him 100% of the snaps of every game. That's nonsense.
I'd rather
yeah.
I'd rather that be Kobe. I
I
think Kobe fits that role.
well, we're gonna
Or
we'll talk about that in the future. Let's just leave it empty for now.
Unfortunately, it will probably be like again, knowing
yeah, it's
Man,
probably
bro.
gonna be like
just guessing
It
based off
should
how
be
our-
Curl, but we'll talk about that later. Okay,
It
kicker.
should be Curl,
yeah.
but I don't think they're gonna use Curl in that role, unfortunately.
RCB suck, man. Just-
Our
Our
punter
punter.
is Ethan Evans. Okay, so right now we're at 38 guys, and we've cut quite a few people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we need 15 additions this offseason. I mean, look, how many draft picks do we have, right? Let's see. LA Rams 2025 draft picks. Let's see what we got. That's quantity wise. Do we have? Is this a? Oh, this is a mock draft. I don't want to see. Oh, this is actually a.
No,
This is interesting.
what you put in? Put in LA Rams future draft picks. And you'll find the how many we got.
Here, it's right here.
Yeah, there you go. No,
No, no. Okay, it said future.
no. Type in. Yeah, type in future. Just type it in, and it's one little thing that.
By the way, like
this one. No.
Yeah, press that and see.
By the way, like compensatory picks are
think it
not going to
wouldn't be
be in
that.
this.
Here we go. Here we
Yeah.
go. Okay.
Oh, it has. Oh, it has them. No, that's last year.
It's oh yeah. So as of right now, we have one. Wait, we don't have our 2025.
Let me see.
We don't have our second rounder.
I can see you. I can see you the.
Yeah, send me a link.
This is
Yeah,
that
I'm-
website's out.
So let's take a look because we really need to know how many we can fill in through the draft. Now we're talking about trading Jonah Jackson for a draft pick. Cooper Kupp's going to get us a draft pick. You know, maybe we trade Kyron for a draft. You talk about 3 or 4. We're probably going to add 3 or 4 draft picks with the way we're doing our mark offseason. So
Yeah.
um,
Especially since we lost that second round pick, I feel like Les is going to try to compensate for that.
Ethan, I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you just now.
all right, let's take a look, see what we got here. Okay, so we got our first rounder. We don't have our second rounder. We got our third. We're gonna get a comp for Raheem.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have
Oh, yeah,
our
I
third, so we have
forgot.
2 thirds.
We
See, we
were,
could trade up to
getting-
the second. We have 2 thirds.
Yeah.
Fourth,
Yeah.
I
fifth.
forgot about that. It was the 24-25.
We got the Falcons 6th. Oh, from the Van Jefferson trade. We have our regular 6, but we traded.
Man, that guy was cheeks.
We traded a 6th away to them.
Oh, we don't have a 4th rounder? When
No,
did
we do.
trade our
We do right
fourth?
here.
Oh, we do? Oh, never mind.
So we have 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Six.
7,
8, 9.
8, 9, and we don't
10.
have a 7th. No, we don't have this one.
Oh,
So
don't
we
say
have
that.
9 picks as of right now, and we're talking about receiving 3 or 4 more. So we're talking about being up to the 12, 13 pick range to
Yeah.
fill in. You know, that'll give us around 50. So we have about 3 or 4 guys to pick up in free agency. We would also, you know, like if we get Myles Garrett, I'm dropping Keir Thomas. Like there's other options for
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
up. This is just like a
Mhm.
opening baseline situation
Yeah.
for where we see the roster. Now that we've kind of gone through this, let's go and identify our needs. So the first one obviously is quarterback. And at this point, it's just backup, right? A second
Yep.
quarterback.
Yep.
We'll talk about that. Well, let's just say starter or backup. It could really be either one, depending on what happens with Stafford, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Running back is the same thing.
Started
Yeah.
back up. Yeah.
Starter,
Starter back.
backup, wide
And
receiver.
there will be some Rams
2.
fans who say that's not a need, but I think it absolutely is. The running back, I'm saying.
I think a lot of Rams fans have started to agree that it is a
Yeah.
need. There are still that
Mhm.
that crowd that still think Kyron's an elite back, you know, because they're box score Andes, but
Yeah.
we already discussed this. so-
Yeah. I think more people started to see the light. You're right.
So
As the end of the season.
1, 2, 3. I guess Xavier, so that'll give us 6 running back. So we'll do this. If we get a starting wide receiver 2 and a wide receiver 1 backup, that'll give us 6 receivers. That's good enough to start the season.
Yep.
We in our box scenario, we got rid of our we got rid of Colby Parkinson. So tight
Right.
end, starter, or backup.
Yep.
And then what else do we need?
Left tackle.
Starting left tackle. Starter.
You could put like backup guard, just like another depth piece O line. I mean, it's not like it's just a backup, you know, position to fill.
I keep hitting the wrong thing. So okay, so yeah, we need at least 1 guard. We need
Nose tackle.
a nose tackle, defensive end. See, this is kind of cool because we have these options, right? We have starter backups.
Mhm.
We have this. This is actually just backup. So
Starting inside linebacker.
we can kind of decide what we want to do.
Yep.
Inside linebacker 1 or
Starter.
2 starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Corner.
CB1.
Yeah.
We've all agreed we want to have a better CB1.
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then a star.
Yep.
Which the Rams may not even think that's a need.
Yeah, but we do. This is our
Yeah.
mock off season. The Rams can screw it up if they want to.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go CB2 backup. Let me switch this around. CB2 backup and then star. I think that's a fair representation of what we're looking for, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We may expand this or reduce it as we go forward. But that's a good starting point for identifying what our roster looks like in 2025, identifying the needs that we want to fill up. And like I said, in the future videos, we'll discuss free agents, and we'll obviously start looking at draft options. But so good. Yeah. So let's discuss where our depth chart is now. Like, this is not a bad depth chart. We have 38 active players in the roster.
No, it's not a bad. My general takeaway from just doing this is we don't have that many burning needs. We're in a pretty good place. I mean, we say, yeah, cornerback 1. Replacing Roseboom, left tackle, which arguably we may have the guy. Like, we don't have that many burning needs. We're in a good spot. Wide receiver, actually, I'll throw that one more. But yeah, still not that many burning needs.
Yeah, wide receiver 2, maybe a tight end. A couple holes here and there, but I think we're pretty set up. So
something that we can address everything in one off season because it's not that many. So
we can draft free agency.
I mean,
we could tighten it up.
Yeah. And you don't need like high profile guys, and we do have some flexibility. Like, if we want to go out on left tackle and wide receiver 2, for example, we could get a cheaper inside linebacker, and we can get a cornerback 2 and move Darius back up to 1. If our pass rush is really good, if we have 2 good linebackers, going cheaper on the secondary is an option. We may also end up deciding to move Cam Curl to star, re-signing John Johnson for cheap, for example. Yeah, those are some options. Now, we haven't re-signed anyone yet. We're going to talk about that next video as well. Right now, we've just talked about who we definitely don't want back on the team.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree totally.
And these last 2 off seasons were about just rebuilding like the core, right?
Yeah.
Mainly like the O line, the D line. With AD retiring, obviously Witt going and majority of our, guards leaving as well, and center, cornerback positions also, like that's a need, but we've done the bulk of the work. This offseason is about being serious about addressing the holes that we have and making a contender for years to come. Yeah. That should be the goal.
Right. And I just want to really quickly give Les Snead a lot of credit, because I remember after the 2022 season, everyone was like, all right, the Rams went all in for a Super Bowl. Now it's kind of, you have to pay your dues. It's over. Ramsey's gone. Von Miller's gone. But in basically 2 drafts, 2023 and 2024, we've just completely reinvented this team and have a good roster again all of a sudden. So props to Les Snead.
Gotta add one more spot in here because I think it needs to be added in. It's the long snapper. And our long snapper is Alex Ward. I just saw him on here, and he is back next year for $1 million. So we haven't had any issues long snapping. So might as well keep him for that cheap. That actually gives us 39 guys on the roster, although it didn't update properly. I'll fix that later. Actually, yeah, so special teams. Let's see the formula here. We'll add, we'll just make this an 8 and bam, 39. Okay, so 39. Now we just need 14 more guys. And like I said, as we go through the offseason, we draft guys, we sign free agents. Some of these guys, like Xavier Smith, might be gone, although 4 receivers is a lot. Cody Schrader might be gone. There's going to be stuff that changes as we go along, depending on who we're able to get for what amount of money. We're going to be as realistic as possible. Like we said, we could have easily said, oh, Eric Jackson's market value is $16 million, but we all kind of know he's not going to go for $16 million. So we'll try to be as realistic as possible. I think we have a pretty good history. Personally, like, we've done this in Discord every season for years, and we've nailed a lot of signings like to the exact dollar amount when market value is like $5 million a year off. Like, we're pretty good at this. So I'm pretty excited. Anything else you guys want to add about the beginning of our off-season stuff?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good with everything. I was gonna say something extra that we could add on before we end the video.
Sure, good.
I don't know if you had more to say. It's literally something not about this at all. I know we're a Rams podcast, but I did want to know you guys Super Bowl picks. If you guys thought about that,
All right.
Yeah.
'Cause I know next
Yeah,
time
we
we
can
come
do
on, the
that.
Super Bowl will
Yeah.
be over by then. So do quick
Okay.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl. We don't have to discuss it in depth. Just some
Yeah.
quick picks real quick.
Sure. Why don't you start, Joe?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I'll start. So, just for the plot of the NFL, the Chiefs three-peat would be amazing. They have everything set up, and it would be great for the league. But I don't want to see a three-peat. I want Patrick Mahomes to have to work a little harder to be the greatest QB of all time. So I'm going to go with the Eagles, and I think I don't have a score prediction or anything like that, but I'm just saying I go with the Eagles win, and I think it's because it's rare that we see great running back games in the Super Bowl. But I think Saquon has a day, and I think the Eagles win it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just go chalk because that's how I feel. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I know it's again, it's
Mhm.
chalk, but I got the Chiefs winning this one. By the way, I kind of like the under in this game. Both these defenses are really good. I think people just love betting the over. But I like the under in this game, and I'll say just classic Chiefs, like late drive by Patrick Mahomes, and they win it.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
That's
OJ,
good pick.
what you got?
I actually feel. I mean, I feel pretty similar. I mean, as much as I would not like to see the Chiefs win it, I mean, I don't like the Eagles either, but I
Yeah.
just know, man, like all these Chiefs games, they go the same way. They're close games. You know, defense plays great for the Chiefs. They have a couple good offensive drives. You know, whatever ref ball, just forget about ref ball. I already know how I feel about that, but Mahomes will always get the ball in his hands to end a game, and if that
Mhm.
happens, it's over. So I feel like that's what's just gonna happen. It's gonna. I think it's gonna be a good game. I think
Me too.
Saquon will have a good game, but Chiefs win.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go Chiefs win as well. But I think it's gonna be a pretty handable win. 10 points plus.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Interesting.
All right.
At the end of the day, it
Nice
boils
call.
down to Mahomes versus Hurts, and I don't think that's particularly close.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah, that's not close at all. You're right about that.
So, all right, guys, we appreciate you guys watching this episode. The beginning of our off-season work, our off-season mock.
It's
Yeah,
gonna
really
be a good
appreciate.
one. It's gonna be a good one.
We haven't even really. This is just like scratching
It's
the
just the
surface.
beginning, man.
Next week we
Mhm.
get into free agents, we get into draft picks, watching film. It's going to be a long off season. It's going to be a fun one. We appreciate you guys
Mhm.
watching though. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comment section anyone that we cut or left off that you guys are not going to do. Kind of fill us in what you guys think. Are you guys going to keep Kyron for $5 million? Are you guys going to keep some of those like Jonah $3 million, that kind of stuff? Let us know what your guys' thoughts are and what you think about our future offseason content. We appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you, boys.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.